Welcome, everyone. This is really loud. So welcome to the Seeking Faithfulness series presented by Young Adult Friends. This is actually the first Seeking Faithfulness series we've had. Some of you may have known this as the William Penn Lecture. Last year, the Young Adult Friends community were contacted by the clerks of the Undoing Racism group to express concerns about the name William Penn Lecture. As William Penn was a slaveholder, and they knew of young friends of color who were uncomfortable coming to an event with that name. So the Young Adult Friends community underwent some discernment. We had already been thinking about calling something a lecture makes it very limited in what we can do, but this opened up a whole new lens of why we might change the name of this event, and then also change the charge. What do we want an event for all ages, hosted by Young Adult Friends, to be in this century? So our charge, which is I think also in your programs, the Seeking Faithfulness series is an annual event hosted by the Young Adult Friends at Philadelphia Yearly Meeting for the benefit of the whole Yearly Meeting community. Young Adult Friends invite a friend or friends to challenge us all to explore new ways to practice our Quaker faith. The Seeking Faithfulness series seeks to nourish our spiritual lives and call us to faithful witness in our communities and throughout the world. The Seeking Faithfulness series was established by Young Adult Friends as the William Penn Lecture series in 1916, which historically invited a lecturer to engage with high school age friends and above. The Young Adult Friends community invites the planning committee to consider the format and style of the Seeking Faithfulness series, including age and other qualities of the intended audience as it envisions the event anew each year. And we really wanted something that would give us the flexibility to respond in the moment to what the needs of the Young Adult Friends community are and what the needs of the Yearly Meeting community are. So I'll pass it over to Rachel, who is on the planning committee, to tell you more about this year's event. PYM, Young Adult Friends, are so excited to bring you City Love. City Love is a West Philly acoustic duo founded by Sterling Duns and Caselli Jordan. Sterling is a member of Marian Meeting, and Caselli is a friend of friends. We are excited to have them share with us because City Love has the strong belief in the transformative power of music to bridge divides. With a commitment to love, solutions, and positive change, and knowing and making peace with the darker aspects of our world while choosing to nurture the light, City Love offers workshops and interactive performances that encourage us to express ourselves through whatever form of art calls to us. Please join me in welcoming City Love.
Thank you so much for having us. We want to start by just thinking and centering on a few things. Firstly, so grateful to be here tonight, and want to recognize the space that we're in, the land that we're on, the indigenous cultures, people native to this land that were on this space before us. We want to welcome in people of all different ages, young folks, our elders, everyone in between. We want to welcome in people of all different racial and ethnic backgrounds, letting them know that they are welcome here, they will be seen here. We want to welcome in people of all different abilities into this space. seen and unseen. We want to welcome in people of all faiths and no faiths, are searching for faith into the space. We want to welcome in people of all different kinds of genders or gender non-conforming family members into the space. People of all different kinds of sexualities. We want to welcome in our ancestors who are here with us in this room, who are the reason why we are here. And we want to imagine 7 generations from this moment for our future kin to come and really think about the world we want them to inhabit. We're going to settle into just a brief moment of silence, silent worship together. And that worship will be broken by a song by Caselli and I. And then we'll move into our program. I believe these words are true, 'cause I believe in you.
I believe in you, and I believe our love can open doors once locked, like rain can soften rock. I believe in you, and I believe our love can soothe the hardened heart, like streams make mountains part. I believe in you. I believe our love can wash this all away, like tide on sandy bay. I believe that soon they will see what we see, that they'll see what we've dreamed. I believe, I believe.
Yes, 28, and I feel it in the fast pace of fast trains, car shares, and some cash lanes. A lot on my brain, I'm trying to stay focused while another case remains open. My mom's hoping the music catches on, the movement presses on, enough vibes to make sure you're never alone. 'Cause solitude is a silent killer, but fortitude and attitude, they are potent healers. Let us see what we've been missing, make realities from wishes. We get caught up in the possible and don't realize what has been logical. I believe in love, truth, and empathy. You are guaranteed those things when you give and leave. I believe these words are true, 'cause I believe in you. I know it's hard, earthbound, dreaming on stars, thinking that it's too far, it'll never be ours. I'm here to tell you that together love can open way to deepest regions of oceans, vastly reaching to outer space. Nothing's an obstacle, no vision unobtainable. Don't believe in impossible, nothing will be the same with you, and nothing will be the same with us. And all it took was a little trust
I believe
to see what we've been
that
missing,
soon
make realities from
they
wishes.
will see
We get caught up in the
what
logical
we see,
and don't realize what has been
that
possible.
they'll see.
I believe in love, truth, and empathy.
We've
You will guarantee those
dreamed.
things when you get
I
with me.
believe,
I believe these words are true,
I believe,
'cause I believe in you.
yeah, I believe in you, and I believe our love will bless us, come what may. Will bless us, come what may. Thank you so much for having us. Again, to my right is Mr. Sterling Duns.
To my left is Caselli Jordan. Together, what are you gonna say something? What are you gonna say something?
We are
City Love.
It's so great to be here with everyone tonight in this beautiful space, and we appreciate the wonderful introduction. Thank you. So we intentionally kept the name and the definition of our night together open, because in this day and age, you really never know what's going to happen from one week to the next in our country, and we didn't know what would be most pertinent and germane. But we've also been made aware that besides what's going on in our country, that there have also been some changes and events recently in PYM that have been challenging for many, and we know the meeting ran pretty late, and that it's been a very emotionally involved day for everyone. And so we realized that this would be a really meaningful time to use to get to come together, because full disclosure, I am not a Quaker. I've been introduced to so many beautiful aspects of Quakerism by Sterling, and it resonates very much with me. But I've always been so blown away by the historical role the Quakers have played in our country in raising the country's consciousness and conscience, and making that heard when it's been extremely difficult to do that and dangerous to do that. And so I think that for me, it's really, looking back on what Quakers have had to face in the past, and hearing a little bit about what, PYM is experiencing right now and some of the tensions. I think that it's small potatoes in the long run, and it's nothing that you all can't work through if you decide to come together. And that the true greatness of Quakerism will flourish when Quakers of all ages can come together, and when we can get the wisdom and experience of the elders paired up with the passion, exuberance, and perhaps impetuousness that's necessary from the youth. And that kind of collaboration and everyone in between is the richness, and that's what's going to help be a voice of consciousness, integrity, and truth in our society, calling for justice, calling for peace, calling for equality. And we certainly need that Quaker voice to be strong in this day and age. So we really hope that in some small way we can work towards harmony tonight together and get everything on the table, and realize that we can hear each other, we can make whatever changes need to be made so that everyone is at the table, so that everyone's included and heard. And we're very thankful to be here and get to dive into this with you tonight.
So the first activity that we actually want to do is will require a bit of moving around and shifting around. If you're able to move and shift around, if not, you can certainly remain seated. But what we wanted to ask you all to do is actually to divide yourself into some groups of people where you are getting to meet some new faces, where we're getting to cross over intergenerationally and try and have a diverse group of people, groups of 4 or 5 people, if possible, because the rest of the evening will really be about collaboration together, reflecting on some queries together, and I think and thinking about building deep community and moving towards beloved community. It's going to be important to do that with somebody you weren't just hanging out with all day. So we are going to play a little mix and mingles track while we ask you to move around, find some new people in the room, and we just ask that you introduce yourself and say one new thing that you did or learned today. And that could be related to your time here, or maybe you were on Wikipedia and something popped up and you learned something new that way. But we're going to give you a few minutes to just move around the room a little bit, get into some new groups of 4 or 5, and then we'll come back together. Does that make sense? Yep. All right. Here we go. Drop that track.
Remember, intergenerational.
Intergenerational.
Is key here.
Introduce yourself.
4, 5.
What did you learn new today? We're gonna play some songs.
We just roll, we roll, can't stop us go. Just try to round us up, just fast enough. Got my CSA focus on everything, and my garden is just a grateful harvest. I think those plans just won't be seen.
In the wings, grow the change, grow the community, grow hope in us all. It's in the privacy, y'all. On the side, on the top, yo, it grows and grows, yo. Let the seed you live here, the river has arrived, so alive for a new year. Let the seed in your heart, let it grow with love, the shows that act in the flow of life. No need for a natural right, make the future look dark, we dissolve in the light. History repeats, let us sow what we reap, make our ancestors proud of all that they see. Yes, and we grow, grow the roots and the wings, grow the change, grow the unity, grow hope in us all, on the minds of the times. Also, we got like 90 seconds to sit down and talk to your people. Grow our souls, let's just 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 grow our souls. 1 minute. Grow our souls, let's just 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 grow our souls. 30 seconds. Grow our souls, let's just 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 10. Grow our souls, let's just 9. Grow our souls, let's just 8. Grow our souls, 7, 6, 5. All right, friends. All right, friends. If you could, hopefully, got to introduce yourself. If you haven't, we'll have some more time for you to collaborate and chat with each other. But thank you so much for agreeing to mix it up. We're gonna do the thing. We're gonna do the thing. Yeah, maybe we should. So Caselli and I, we write. Our name is City Love, and we write love songs. We give it up for love, y'all. Give it up for love. What the heck? And that means that's all kinds of love songs. So we have some romantic love songs, but we also have love songs that we make that are very much aligned with that Cornel West talks about love, or has a beautiful quote about love. And he says that justice is what love looks like in public. And so tonight, we're not going to play the romantic jams. You know, that might, maybe that's the after hours, after hours City Love set. But we definitely want to share some music with you all. In this first track, you want to tell them a little bit about the first track?
This is just, and I had fun doing a little research on this, but it's going to celebrate a little bit about the awesome things that Quakers have done over time and some of the outstanding Quakers of history and present.
Because Quakers are awesome, right? Give it up for Quakers, y'all. Listen.
We're Quakers. And the chorus is pretty simple, and we invite you to sing along with us, clap along. It's kind of just a fun little song.
Let's do it.
1755 shutting it down. Says slavery has no place in this town. A Quaker did that. A Quaker did that. A Quaker did that.
A Quaker did that. Yes, organize a march on Washington. This man brought all his friends. A Quaker did that. Buy it Rustin. A Quaker did that. Buy it Rustin. A Quaker did that. Buy it Rustin.
Quaker did that.
Yes.
Independent women way back in the day. Quaker ladies always have had their say. A Quaker did that.
Yo, a Quaker did that.
A Quaker did that. Yes,
A
they
Quaker did that.
A Quaker did that.
A Quaker did that.
A Quaker did that.
Yo, fighting for women's rights way back in the day. Slavery was whack, she said push it away. A Quaker did that. Lucretia Mott, a Quaker did that. Lucretia Mott, a Quaker did that. And some other folks too, but
Quaker did that.
Lucretia Mott. No, that's all we're gonna give right now. That's all we're gonna give right now. History lesson of the night. So, listen, that song took us 4 years. That was a thesis. That was our thesis that we made. So we want you to reflect on, in your groups, just to get grounded in the work of, what Quakers have done historically. We'd like you to reflect in your group, what is something that makes you feel proud to be a Quaker? And I don't want to assume that everybody in the room is Quaker. Maybe you have another spiritual faith, or you have no faith. You're just something that makes you feel proud to be a valued-based person of integrity, a person of an ethical grounding. If that doesn't apply to you as being a Quaker, it's not something you identify with. So what is something that makes you feel proud to be a Quaker or just a good human being? And what tales from Quaker history and present give you faith and courage to face the challenges of our times? And once again, that could be related to Quaker history or outside of Quaker history. But reflecting in your group, we'll take 5 minutes or so.
And then we're coming around with some cordless mics, and we want to have people share out to the whole group.
They are a Quaker lobbying group. That a lobbying group is people who get together with a common idea or goal or thought about something, and then they talk to their townspeople and people that are elected to say, this is what we think.
Take 2 more minutes. Make sure, try to make sure everyone gets a chance to. This much away from your mouth. He's actually picked up quite a bit. Yeah, but make sure to say your name.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Mary, and we talked in our group about something that made us proud to be Quaker are oftentimes the Quakers that weren't accepted by their meetings, but did really amazing things, and they're the ones that we remember, like Lucretia Mott, that really stood for truth, and they weren't necessarily accepted by their meetings for what they were doing. That's what we talked about.
To have somebody over here, and you guys have. Can you say your name, too?
I'm Nicole, and in our group we also did something to be proud about to be Quaker. And a lot of some were that we are kind of
It's a collaboration.
We talked about how we liked how inclusive the community was, even in just small actions that make people feel more welcome and able to be themselves.
Not forget, can we clap it up for all the people who are sharing too? Yeah, after each one of us clap, it takes a lot of courage to share out like that.
My name is Carolyn Peters Echo. A number of years ago, I had to testify in court, and I was asked to put my hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And I kept my hands in my lap. And I was told again to say that, and I said, I affirm, I'm a Quaker. This was in Bucks County. They should know. The judge did. And he said, that's okay. She can affirm. My hero in Quaker history is John Woolman. He went around and labored too many meetings. He walked many miles and labored with people to release their slaves. He wore clothes that were not dyed by slave labor. He is my hero, as well as a number of conscientious objectors that I personally knew and grew up with.
I think this side is hot, my side is
Okay.
quite a little fire right now.
Yeah, one more over here.
Warming up.
My name is Jim Mitchner. My mother's mother was Caroline Cadbury Shipley. And when she found out that black women were not allowed in the YWCA, she formed her own branch of the YWCA, which admitted black women. And she was the president of that. And she taught the people who came to her, the women that came, she taught them to administer the YWCA branch, and she worked herself out of a job, giving it to the black women.
Wow. And
Yeah, one more.
one more?
You're close.
I learned a fun fact of our group, which amazingly I didn't know this, and maybe you all do. George Fox was 26 when he had his visions and insights that founded religion. I did not know that. 26.
I need one last, we got one last person, okay.
I feel proud to be a Quaker because of the way Quakers do education. I grew up in Quaker schools, middle school, high school, and college, and now I get to teach 4th grade at Germantown Friends School. And in Quaker education, we see that everyone matters and that everyone's voice is important.
I feel like we started to clap with the young people, but clap it up for Mary too for that first, for getting us cracking, Mary. Breaking the proverbial ice. Thank you. So this next song that we're going to share is a song called "Colorblind," and this song came out of a lot of conversations that Caselli and I had in regards to our respective racial identities, and the way that we were socialized in a lot of ways was to think about to not see race, to not see color, and to really move past it or not see it as a hindrance. And when we got older and started having some critical conversations about it, we decided to try on another framework instead of being colorblind, to really be colorful, to think about what it means to bring in our racial identities into the spaces that we're in all the time, to have positive understandings of our racial identities, and to welcome them, accept them, see them, knowing that the ways that our country has been set up, that there's where some people are afforded opportunities, other people are really oppressed based on the color of their skin. So we decided to write this song called "Colorblind," really challenging each other and hopefully challenging listeners to think about what it would mean to not be colorblind, but really be colorful and welcome in people in their racial identity.
And, thinking about, being born into a white body, being a white person in this country has been something that's, there's just more and more layers like an onion, just understanding the implications of that. And something that has been really meaningful for me to reflect on is, not only thinking about the opportunities that I've had and the access that I've had because of the color of my skin, but also thinking about what it meant for my father and my mother to be white, for my grandparents to be white, for my great-grandparents to be white in this country, and the way that opportunity and advantage accumulates over generations and predisposes people for different opportunities and advantages. And, thinking about how I'm a very well-intentioned person, and knowing how much harm I've unwittingly caused in my life because of the fact that I have so many blind spots growing up white and just being oblivious to the impacts of some of my words or some of my actions, inactions, and thinking about taking that to the structural level. If we are having situations where it's predominantly white people in an organization, it's very likely we're going to have a lot of blind spots, no matter what the organization is, whether it's a school, whether it's a county board, whether it's a business, whether it's a religious institution. It's very challenging as white people to see all the things that we need to see to be fully inclusive, to be fully equitable. So just taking that in, and I really appreciate the testimonial in the Quaker faith of equality, and I think that's something that, especially as a white person, to needing to do work on my own to grow in that, but also really needing to empower the voices of people of color to help an institution to grow, to help individuals to grow, as we also do our individual work to kind of take away that internalized oppression that we pass on to others.
So we're taught that race shouldn't matter, but too often it does. With love and hope and a room full of beautiful people engaging in some critical conversations, we can create a world where race doesn't matter.
Born colorblind, I never understood the meaning of our skins. I never learned that we are equal but so different, running in a race that why began with such a lead, running on the backs of others, cotton dollars grown on native soil by toilers slaves. Race invention, walls between us, races used against us, building fear and breeding hate. White supremacy pervasive, written in the laws and taught in schools, learned on TV. White is taught to wonder why brown can't just pick itself right off the ground and be like white, just like whitewashed Jesus, white like founding fathers, sheriffs, judges, white like stars and stripes. Once was colorblind, but now I start to see how my skin of white has opened doors for me. Oh, amazing grace, please open up my eyes and help others see if they too have been blind.
Born colorblind, I never saw what it takes to make change or talk race at all. We've been walking on eggshells, rooms with elephants, comments on the past saying that it's irrelevant. But if we don't know where we come from, how we get to the end of the road, where will we go?
We are born as equals, but then some of us are fed with golden spoons while others starve. We are born as equals with 500 years of horror, drawing lines into the sand, drafting laws and separating housing, schooling, so we may not learn that we are one of many equal, different, woven of so many vibrant strands. The warmest quills, equal and so beautiful, and strongest for our great diversity. Non-prophecy, but description round medicine, making invisible visible for all to see. Open eyes and open hearts, let's learn to see the world for what it is and build a bridge. We were colorblind, but may we start to see you saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that you saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Happy night.
Please excuse the formatting on the slideshow. We changed to a different program, and you know how it goes. So just like you did with, again, to celebrate some Quaker history, we wanted to use this song to open up some queries. And for this one, we wanted to ask, how is the testimony of equality as it relates to race, gender, age, sexual orientation, ethnicity, and ability represented in Philly Quaker culture and institutions such as PYM? And this, again, we would love for you to discuss in your small groups. And what steps can be taken to keep building more inclusion, empowerment, dialogue, and equality at PYM and in other aspects of Quaker culture?
And what are the challenges and obstacles to doing this? How does our country's history and current climate complicate this?
So we just want to draw from the wisdom of the room. Please share in your groups, and then again, we would love to hear your voices. We'll come around with the microphone to hear. We'll take 7 to 10 minutes, maybe.
Alright, if there's, we're going to bring it back together, everyone. Is there someone that, we can have actually a few groups, maybe 3 or 4 groups, share out just any reflections that came up for them. Maybe some new voices too.
Hi, I'm Casey. In my group, we talked about how, years ago, there was a brand new page and everyone was equal, and then things continued throughout the years, and you're born to a family, and unfortunately, you get what that family has. So if you're born homeless to a homeless mom, unfortunately, you sacrifice, you get those sacrifices. But if if you try to teach everyone how to be equal, I feel say somebody created a law or something, there doesn't matter, because there are people that shoot people even though that's illegal, and they don't care. They just designated to doing that. So the fact is, you can set all these laws and rules and regulations and try and teach and everything, but people are going to be who they want to be.
There's some hands over on this side.
I'm Carl, and we got maybe slightly sidetracked, maybe not, talking about allies, and I shared one of my favorite. So, an ally, as many of you probably know, is somebody who's not part of a specific community, but is supportive and work and is trying to do work on behalf of that community, and it can apply to a lot of things. It's often used in the context of feminism or of gender equality, but it applies to really anything. I'm talking about one of my favorite analogies about being an ally, which is that being an ally is not like getting a college degree where you earn it and then you have it forever. Being an ally is something that you have to constantly renew every single day and constantly work at every single day, or else you can lose that status. And that it's often talked about in a feminist context in that way, but it certainly applies to to raise issues into other issues.
I'm Evie, and we talked a lot about, taking steps towards building inclusion by having trust and integrity. If you're approached about being offensive to somebody, just trusting that they have a good reason to be offended and that they're not trying to make it up to make you look bad or any of the other reasons, and trusting that as somebody who has offended, trusting that the person didn't mean to offend you, and just being able to build off of it instead of letting it become a divide between you two.
Yeah.
And we also talked about, something that stood out to me is this lovely friend here was talking about seeing that of God in everyone, but he mentioned seeing that, you spelling it with either one or two G's, seeing that of God or seeing that of good, and I thought that was a very candid example of how the Quaker community views equality, because it includes people who don't necessarily conform to that God or a God or any God, and it was a really nice demonstration right then and there of the way that we treat and view equality.
And last, Vernie.
We talked about how, with this really strong desire to see that of God in everyone, there are things that get in the way of that, and things about the history that's living in us as individuals and in our institutions and in our relationships. And Cody brought up a teaching from Neo New Span that was really helpful about how sometimes we talk past each other when one person is thinking about interpersonal relationships and another is talking about structures, and how it can be really helpful to hold all of the levels of internal, interpersonal, institutional, and structural, and really be clear about what level we're talking about, and that all of those are living in all of us all the time. But that helped us sort of untangle some of what we were trying to say to each other, and really wishing for institutions to create structures that help us to love ourselves and to love each other. And I know I personally am feeling some combination of hope and grief about the way I feel like that's going at the moment.
So we've got one more song to share with you before we're going to have you share a song with us. But this is a song about forgiveness, and we call it Forgiveness is Peace. And
it's a hard one.
It's a hard one.
At times, depending on when we play it, but it really asks, Caselli and I really try and channel a lot of people who we consider our teachers in this song, and really thinking about seeing people. And was it Evie? Yeah. Beautiful. I don't know, unless you sneak peeked at our slides. I think you put it beautifully, just in terms of thinking about both talking about forgiving somebody, and also people really taking ownership of when they commit transgressions, and what it means to really look at when harmony has been disrupted, and to sit in that disruption with another person and to really be there with each other and not wish away feelings of where people at, and also to hold that truth and also hold the truth of trying to get back to harmony. And it takes time and it takes space and it takes a lot of different things. And in this song, we really try to capture all the complexities of what it means to both be in the midst of a disruption of harmony, and to be able to imagine what it looks like to return to restore harmony. So this song is called "Forgiveness is Peace." Yo, heaven forgive me, hard times left me feeling empty. Oh, people don't call them, people try their best to forget me. The fame used to tempt me, attracted to living simply. Foundation salad, no heater, was a crack in the chimney. Halfway to 50 plus 4, done living in envy. Pain strange, I opened up to the same things that I trapped long ago. It's a trap you already know, but I started believing in love and the people on this globe. I saw the light shine bright from the hearts of humans. I looked in the mirror and asked the man what he was doing. You can say a lot with words, but even more than talking, the best way to pave the way is to make the road by walking.
Only the great forgive. I wonder how Dr. King did. Jesus of Nazareth, Gandhi, mercy beyond words. I'll try to emulate him. Pray that I find the grace to forgive myself, forgive yourself one lovely day. It's never easy, but it's so necessary, perhaps. It's why we're here, to try to learn to make it right, to find compassion in the darkest of days, to make amends, to make some peace, to find the strength to let it go. We're free at last, we're free at last, we let it go. We let it go. We let it go. I saw the pain in their eyes. I saw the light and I cried. I know forgiveness takes love. I know forgiveness is peace. I know forgiveness takes love. I know forgiveness is peace. We've always done our best. It's not easy being human. We spread our pain, pushed love away. Sorry to say, what if the pain we cause is always just born of ours? And what if the harshest words and violence are just cries for love? I want to hear the needs that inspire the hurtful deeds, and catch you before we spread the bridges to just multiply our wounds. Forgive us, Mother, for we know not what we do. It's just me and you, just you and I. The light is in, let's make it right. Let's make it right. I saw the pain in their eyes. I saw the light and I cried. I know forgiveness takes love. I know forgiveness is peace. I know forgiveness takes love. I know forgiveness is peace.
So this is another one we wanted to take some time to discuss in small groups. And unfortunately, we're starting to run out of time, and we want to make sure we get to be creative with you all, because this is all setting the stage of kind of shared values, shared understanding, shared dialogue, to get to create a song together within your groups and make a whole group song that we're really excited about. So we want to take some time, and we don't want to rush past this because it's so important. But maybe we can take 4 or 5 minutes to talk in our groups about this, and we'll share out. So the queries that we have here are, how are you feeling about recent changes at PYM?
And what helps or would help you to feel heard, understood, included, and valued at PYM?
So we'll take about 4 minutes, which is certainly not enough time to dive into this one. Do our best. Okay, everybody, we want to bring it back. So great to see everybody sharing, and finish your last thought in 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. So we won't have time to share those out as a full group, but we hope that you'll be able to take those with you and take the conversations that you had in these groups and represent that with when you're in other circles that might not include the voices that you have with you right now. Now we're going to change gears a little bit.
How many people in this room would consider themselves hip-hop artists? It's 3 of us. We're making an album after this. So, what we're going to move into, and this is, I mean, all these parts are my favorite part, but this is one of my favorite parts of the evening, because we're really going to pass the microphone and the performance stage over to you all, and ask you within your groups, in just a little bit, we're going to create a song that has never existed before in this room. It'll live in here. You know, we'll get some of the audio, I guess, but it's really going to be born out of just the energy in this room. And I'm excited. But if you've never done the hip hop or don't consider yourself a hip hop artist, we're gonna have like a crash course, and then you're just gonna be knighted as a hip hop artist, and we're just gonna keep it moving. So, a beautiful way that I like to introduce people to the fact that they've already done some of the hip hop, or they've already have in their own life examples of hip hop, is bringing in one of my favorite hip hop artists, Dr. Seuss. And so, yeah, give it up for DJ Dr. Seuss, y'all. 5-time Grammy Award winning, him, Kendrick Lamar, and a bunch of other people, Chance, on an album yet to be released. So this album is called Fox and Socks. Brother Caselli is going to give us a little beat. And all I want y'all to do is repeat after me. And I'm not going to make up anything that is not in this book, but we're gonna definitely put a little swag to some of Dr. Seuss. And yeah, just enough jibber jabbing. Just follow along, y'all. All right, y'all. Here we go. This is a crazy book, by the way. If you haven't read it recently. Yes. So you're just gonna repeat after me. And you're gonna repeat after me and say a little energy. All right.
Before you even start that, try and feel the beat in your body somehow, whether it's just kind of tapping your feet or snapping your fingers, slapping your hands.
Caselli always talks about rhythm. Being a white person, he always talks about rhythm, so tries to ground it in something. If that is helpful for you, that's great. Here we go. Knocks and box, Fox and socks. Fox and socks, Fox and socks. Knocks on box and socks and box. Knocks and box and socks and box. Socks on knocks and knocks and box. Knocks and knocks and socks and box. Fox and socks on box and knocks. Fox and socks on box and knocks. Who says Sue says? Who says Sue says? Sue says, who says Sue says? Mr. Knox, I gotta go. Mr. Knox is with the crow. All right, that's it. Give yourselves a round of applause. Beautiful. All right, we're warmed up. This book is crazy. I have no idea what the narrative is. So,
how it ends. How's it going to end?
Quick history of hip hop. I think it's important to understand. Just a quick history. Hip hop, arguably, one could say that it's been around since for a long time, since the beginning of time. In some ways, in terms of human history, in that we've always been telling stories, using art, mixing, moving our bodies, dancing. But hip hop, as we know it, was really formed in New York, in the Bronx, out of a very, very terrible, treacherous time for Black and brown folks in that part of the world, where really their humanity, their livelihood was at jeopardy every single day because they were living in poverty. In the institutionalized forms of oppression were just weighing down on people in New York. And instead of succumbing to that, they decided to use art as a way to not only liberate themselves, but liberate the people around them to really gain their humanity back. And the four pillars of hip hop, as we know today, are DJing, MCing, which we're going to focus on today, graffiti, and breaking, so moving the body. And there's also one other pillar of hip hop that gets acknowledged, which is knowledge. And really, hip hop, starting in the Bronx, blew up and went all around the world. You can now find hip hop almost on every continent, in so many different languages, and people still using it in the ways that it was originated for liberation, self-liberation, liberating people around them. And so with that, we love to bring in the framework of hip hop to people in terms of just the power in collaboration that's already embedded in hip hop, the power of liberation, self-love, love of others. And I think I mean, as a hip hop artist, I both really believe in it, and as your keynote speakers for the night, we feel like we can subject you too, so without too much pushback. So in your groups, we are going to collaborate on a song. Caselli, you want to tell this part?
Sure, yeah. So again, drawing from what you guys talked about earlier with our Quaker Did That song, thinking about what Quakers have faced off against in the past and what Quakers can contribute to today's struggles for justice, equality, peace, and sustainability. So yeah, you can just thinking about what can we do, envisioning the future. And we always talk about the 3 R's: respond, retell, reimagine. So you can use that framework to help guide you. But just thinking about what kind of impact can Quakers have together when we, again, draw on the brilliance, insight, energy, passion of youth, the wisdom, experience, and organization of the elders and everyone in between. And when we put that fullness together with the testimonials of the Quaker faith, it's a powerful thing. And what can that do in our country? What can that do to help raise the consciousness and conscience of our country to the level it needs to raise to?
So, yes, we should do that. So, it's sometimes hard to think, when you're thinking of lyrics and putting in a message into a rhyme form, or a form that you can feel all throughout your body, that might be hard for you to do if this is your first time doing it. So we love to give just a quick nursery rhyme that we want to give to you, and you can think about, while you're saying this nursery rhyme, I just want you to think about rhythm. I want you to think about the number of syllables in the nursery rhyme, because you can take your message, your idea, your responding, retelling, and reimagining to this query above, and really, using this nursery rhyme, put in words, and create a beautiful song with your group. And that nursery rhyme is Jack Be Nimble. Everybody familiar with Jack Be Nimble? Nursery rhyme, Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Quick, Jack jumped over the candlestick.
Yeah.
The candlestick. All right? And so we're just going to add a little bit of rhythm to that, and we're just going to all sing Jack Be Nimble together, just to get that rhythm in our bodies, and to also just to see how the words, as they come out of our mouth, the number of syllables, and just to really internalize that. So Caselli, if you give us a little something. So we're just going to say the Jack Be Nimble nursery rhyme, all right? Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jumped over the can. Come on, let me hear you. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. Come on, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the can. One more time. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. Beautiful. And so the rhyme scheme, the rhythm, the cadence, everything is already, we like to use that because everything is already there in that nursery rhyme. So if that feels helpful for you to think about what you're the rhythm of the song that you're gonna create with your group, by all means use it. If you wanna diverge from that and create your own rhythm, that's great too. But what we're gonna do right now is in your groups, we're gonna take about 8 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. We're gonna take 5 minutes. And we want you to come up with at least one. At least one.
Hopefully 2 or 3.
Maybe 2 or 3. But reflecting on that query and what we're going to do, well, we'll tell you what we're going to do after that. But getting in your groups, we have some paper and some pens. So maybe we'll pass out one per group. And you're just going to really collaborate, work together to respond, retell, or reimagine this query up here. With your group. Any questions? Woo! 30 seconds. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, friends, if we can bring it back together. So, I got it. Caselli's going to teach you the course. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to all come in hip hop. We would all be in a circle. We would create something. We would do a beautiful cipher session. We're all different people are going in, and we're all supporting each other and holding space for each other. People are sharing their voices, their messages. But for this sake, we're gonna be running around with some of the microphones. I will be, and after every group shares out, everybody's gonna come together and really just hold up the group that shared out their message by coming in with a resounding voice to this course, which Caselli is going to sing for us right now.
And now is a great time. If you're able to stand, please stand so you can get moved. You can kind of clap along, sing along, really feel it. All right. So it'll be that same beat, and this would be, we would come in again between each time that a group shares their verse. We would all come in as one unified chorus. We would sing, PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. One more time, PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Good. So, let's start with that. We're gonna all start the song by saying that. And could I have one? Is there one group that just wants to get us started with this giant? We're gonna start right up. Oh, we got a few groups.
And please start.
So we're gonna start up here. And we're gonna sing that chorus. Let's sing it twice. And after we sing it, we'll come over here. And then I'll just keep running around to the next group. Alright?
It sounded like that was a little low for some people. Sorry to interject. Is it a PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. Give me a thumbs up if that's a little better key for you. Okay, I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, go with that. Alright, quick key change.
Count them in.
Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Quakers, tell it, sell it, spice it, yell it. Margaret, fill it, and that ain't no lie. Big boppity, boppity.
PYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
When there's peace, our minds make peace. Think about Quakers, the friendship makers. Might we put out our light? Maybe carry on our fight. Quaker justice wasn't just long ago. Our work is now needed. Come on, let's go.
Yeah! BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Find the light can light your mind. One and all, that's like one and all and friendship find. That is, I with this little light of mine can help the rest of the world shine.
Yeah! BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
We lose our grace. Let's embrace facing race.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
It's time to talk to God and everyone.
Quakers rise to great peace.
Love responds, love transforms, love love reimagine a world reborn.
Shine your light, shine your light.
Yeah! BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Quakers today can show the way. Clean water, clean food, we got a lot to say. Clean energy, love and peace to all. We've come a long way by heeding the call.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Quakers be graceful, Quakers be slow. We're not always perfect, but still on the go. We can be Quakers.
You got it, yeah.
Spirit, woohoo! We can do it, so can you.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Well, you the light just like the sun. We see God in everyone. We spread peace just like some butter. We see God in each other.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
We can protest, we can win it. Dance and be a spirit within.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Feel the fight rising inside. Take some time, a new path to rise.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
We get our comfort from familiar voices. We will lose our chance for different choices.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Like
better.
Love in public is justice. We have to learn to trust.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. Keep singing. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Quakers can build a sustainable future, seizing sewing his hearts with a perfect suture. Instead of fearing the encircling vulture, love, forgiveness, and integrating culture.
BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
2017, we are Quakers, like our teachers being movers and shakers. Remember when she saw God in you? You gotta go deep. Remember it's true.
BYM, let's learn together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Together we talk with integrity, seeking out truth we can feel and see.
Come on, y'all! BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better. BYM, let's come together. The world needs Quakers to make it better.
Y'all clap it up for that jam right there.
Look at all that talent in the room. Sorry, we ran a little bit over the time. Oh.
I have a question. Is there any way possible we can collect those words and then have somebody type that up and then pass that around so that we can have that?
That sounds wonderful.
That's a great.
All right. Well, we can. If you want to bring the words up here, and if there's someone who loves typing, we can hand them to them. And if you want to bring them to the bench right here, at the very end.
Was there a group that wanted to go that didn't get a chance to go? Listen, we could get the cipher machine started back up. Let's just put a foot on the gas and just warm it back up. Rachel, was that?
One more.
Was there one more group? Oh, they don't want to go. All right. All right.
Thank you again so much for having us tonight. For being willing to make yourselves vulnerable, for collaborating with people you've never collaborated with way too little time to collaborate, and really sharing deep, heartfelt thoughts about challenging and delicate issues. On a special night.
I'm looking at you, Elizabeth. It's after hours. We were going to have some time for Q&A, but we can do that in the other room. We'll be available in the other room if anybody wants to chat or do some more rapping or read Dr. Seuss and find out what the heck this story is about, or to hear some love songs. But once again, thank you so much for having us. We're very grateful.
Okay, let's give them another round of applause.
young adult friends, so those